Hi and welcome. This is Study Club 2, video and notes. Again, what's most important is your notes, not just this sheet of paper. So let's take some notes. So we have here, it says complete the paragraph proof. So that means walk through the logical steps until you've made sense of every single move you've made with your head. So let's do it. It says complete the paragraph proof given that LE bisects an angle. So that means it cuts the angle in half, meaning the left side and the right side of that angle, or the top and the bottom, are equal, because bisect means to cut in two equal parts. Okay. And that LE is perpendicular, so that means perpendicular to meet at a 90-degree angle. Perpendicular, so that would also mean that's 90. Now prove that the triangle at the top is congruent to the triangle at the bottom. So right here, I'm noticing that EL, let's just collect some evidence here. We have EL is equal to EL. Both the top and the bottom triangle are equal, and that's reflexive. If this was like a homework assignment, we could call that angle GLE, and we had one just like that. GLE is congruent to ULE, ULE. And that's because of this definition, this idea of the definition of bisecting. When you cut something in half, that means you cut it in two equal parts. Then we also know that GEL I think I meant to write GLE there. GLE. Okay. So GLE, this angle, is equal to this angle. And we also know this angle and this angle are equal because we know all 90-degree angles are equal to each other. GEL is congruent to UEL, angle UEL, because they're both 90. Or right angles. They're both right angles. Okay, so let's take a look at the problem. Now that we've thought this through, I'm also noticing my evidence spells side angle side. So I'm also thinking this is going to come up. See how it spells side angle side. So we do know they're congruent. And so this is like a homework problem. Now, how does it become a proof problem? It's really walking through the steps, and it's really doing it the same as if you did it in a homework problem. I could also call this not hypotenuse, but leg angle. Now that's not one of my choices, but again, leg angle works because side angle side works. So let's do it. It says these bisect given an angle GEL is congruent to ULE by the definition of, well, and we put it right there. That's the definition of bisect. Or bisect. And we were bisecting an angle, so it's really the definition of angle bisector. Now it says LE is congruent to LE. Well, in our homework, LE and EL would be the same, and if it was a homework question, we'd say that's because of reflexive. Also, they're perpendicular, so GEL are congruent because they're right angles, and that's what perpendicular means. And then it must be true that they're right angles because that's what perpendicular lines mean. So this is the definition of perpendicular lines. And then now that we know they make right angles, because right angles are made from perpendicular lines, we also know that all right angles are congruent. Okay, so that's where all this stuff fits in. And then once we see the picture of our evidence, we know that these two triangles, the top and the bottom, should be congruent because of side angle side triangle congruence. Okay. Next one. For angle side angle postulate, which side of the triangle must be known? Okay, so that's like our vocab. Angle side angle is not a similarity theorem. It's only a congruence theorem, only a triangle congruence theorem. So when we did vocab for chapter 7, we drew a picture, and we can draw a picture of angle side angle. That means one angle matches one angle, one side matches one side, a second angle matches a second angle. And so we know from our notes that this is what angle side angle means. So when they ask which side of the triangle must be known, we notice that because the S fits in the middle, because S fits between the two A's, we know the side must be included. Okay, we also call that trapped, but the official name for it is included. We also know these are silly. I could have drawn this where the longest side were these or the shortest side are these. The non-included would have spelled something else. So if the side was not included, the S would have been on the outside of the two A's. Okay. 47. It says point A, B, and C are collinear. That means they're all on one line. So A, B, and C. They're all on one line, AC. And AB is making a ratio BC 3:4. So they're meaning, normally we see it this way, 3:4. So there's 3 equal and then 4 equal. And that's what they mean, 3:4. So that should be easy enough. 3 make up the first section, and 4 make up the second section. That means we have to cut it in 7 equal pieces. Now it says, if A is located, so we don't know the coordinate of A, I'll call that XY, B is 4, 1, and C is 12, 5. What are the values of X and Y? So they're asking, what is the coordinate of A? So I'm gonna have to graph this. And this one's very, like a little modification of what we've normally been doing. So let's go ahead and graph this. 4, 1, and 12, 5. All my values are positive. So I should be able to stay mostly, and again, you may want to print some graph paper off the internet if you don't have any, or just go down to Office Max. 4, 1 is B, and 12, 5. 12, 5. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then 5 is C. So when I take a straight edge here, I'm noticing some stuff lines up. Very interesting. It's lining up right along in here. And that's based on my plan. I noticed that there should be 4 equal parts from B to C. And that's exactly what I see. 4 equal parts from B to C. And I need 3 equal parts on the other side of A. So to get between these two, I went back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1. So I'm going to keep going with the pattern. Back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1. So I'm willing to bet, if this is my X and Y axis, that this must be point A, because I went 3 equal sections from A to B and 4 equal sections from B to C for a total of 7 sections. So I'm going to read off this coordinate. It looks like it's -2, -2. So that's my final answer, -2, -2 for A. Now, if you struggle with that a little bit, you can draw this full right angle. And notice this is cut in 7 equal sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can go 3 with 4 to go and line it up. 3 with 4 to go and line it up. So that is where B is. And again, it makes sense. A would have to be there at -2, -2. So my final answer for A is -2, -2. Now make sure you turn in this graph for full credit. Just staple it together. All right, next question. It says, for angle side theorem, well, there is no theorem angle side. So they have to be talking about for similarity. So they have to be talking about triangle congruence, twins. So again, this is like our notes from chapter 7. They're saying if two angles are matching, what would the picture look like if the evidence spelled angle, side, angle, side? So notice this is different than this last one because ASA is in a different order than AAS. And so what I'm noticing is that this side has to be the non-included side. If it was the included side, it would spell ASA. And again, these aren't necessary. We're trying to spell AAS, so now I need the side that is not included or not trapped.